Sure.
Out of the 8 billion podcasts that claim to talk about sports, 99% of them talk football and basketball. And that's about it. That's because they don't know about anything else. And they bore you to tears. Welcome to the Sportsocracy, the Ocho, where sports meets comedy, sports analysis, laughs, and the occasional debate that'll likely blow the roof off. We're rowdy and loud and bringing the party straight to your ears.
The party has arrived.
And by the way, you don't have to be a sports fan to like this show, because we're pretty damned awesome, even when we're not talking sports. From baseball to hockey to wrestling to the UFC and beyond, we love it, and we're talking about it. And now your hosts, Armchair, hailing from Canada. He's a sports encyclopedia. And Dubs, the quintessential masshole who's always down for some lively banter and a little bit of the green stuff. And we're not talking about the outfield grass. Let's rock this. This is the Sportsocracy, the Ocho.
What is up, everyone? It's Armchair. It's Dubs.
We're back.
We're here.
Another beautiful Wednesday night.
Man, there is, listen, first things first, if you're not watching the Sportsocracy tomorrow, you're missing out, because there is a lot to talk about on that side, but we have a lot to talk about. Things happened.
Things did happen.
We had big news.
Before we get into that, can
I'm gonna start with, what do you got something you want to go?
Yeah, I got a little story from this morning. So it's been a wild week to begin with, but so this morning, wake up, getting ready, go to work, all is well. It snowed last night, but then it warmed up overnight. The snow melted and turned to rain. Yeah. So I walk out of my fucking front door, front steps, whoop, completely legs out from under me, flat on my back in the slush, had to go back inside and completely change every article of clothing I was wearing. Got out, set my day off on the right foot, and nothing bugs me more than wet socks. It's like the biggest pet peeve. Fuck that.
No.
Itchy feet all day. The smell. It's horrible. But anyway, I'm on my way into work, and I'm behind a turquoise Honda Fit. It's got the pink eyelashes on the front of it.
Yeah, of course.
Bumblebee antenna. Coexist stickers. Save the turtles. Pink paw prints all over it. The Pink Panther was walking on it. A bunch of like Furbies and shit in the front. In the windshield. And I had to get that out there. I just wanted to put that out into the world. There's like a couple of moons around a big ass star, which I don't know what that means, but I get the gist.
You were mad. You were mad about it. You didn't know what it means.
It was the what's your star sign mobile. I was stuck behind that thing, and you already know how slow it was going this morning. Meanwhile, I'm late. I'm wet. I want no part of my morning already, and I got to be stuck behind fucking almond milk and crystals for 20 minutes of my fucking ride. And by the way, bumper stickers, I'm out. Don't like them. If you can have one, maybe, if it's like funny something, but I don't like them. I would never have one. And if you have bumper stickers and you're listening to this, sorry, but they're not.
Bumper stickers for Ohio only.
And like people get super political with them. Like you're driving a diesel truck, dude. I already know which side of the fucking fence you're on. Or you're driving a fucking turquoise Honda Fit. The Coexist sticker was the car. Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Rant over.
Hey, I'm sorry look, we had snow this morning, and I take a ferry to work that crosses the harbor every day. And it's like one of the longest running ferries in North America, I believe.
Living in like 1940.
No, it's
fun, office with I know that's dope. I wish I took a ferry to work.
Like feel like a pirate every day.
Shit, yeah.
So on my way home,
You
so
drinking rum too?
we got all the rain. We got all the rain and all of the garbage, and it warmed up. But on the way home, we had to board the ferry, and it was like this up and down in the water. So it was like we were really they earned their money. Like the transit ferry drivers earned their money sailing that ship across the harbor.
Did you tip them?
No, you don't.
I don't know.
You don't see them. You don't talk to them.
I figured not. Like I
No,
don't tip my train conductor.
No, it's like the tea, but on the water.
That makes sense. That was what I was picturing.
Yeah. So we have some big news in hockey. What do you want to start with? Someone getting the bag or the reverse Lindros?
Fucking Willie Styles.
William Nylander signed a ridiculous extension.
Crazy extension. And it wouldn't be that crazy if it was from a different team, but if it's from a team that is already paying 3 forwards the way they're paying Mr. Nylander.
4 forwards and a defenseman. They just keep it just gets worse.
And what are their problems? It's not scoring.
No, it's goaltending. Goaltending and defense.
They think Joseph Wall's going to come back and be that guy.
All right, so this is from Cap Geek, who I highly recommend for anyone that ever wants to look at salary cap stuff for the NHL because they're bang on. Austin Matthews for 2024-2025, which is when this matters, right?
Yep.
13 and a quarter. John Tavares, 11 million. Mitchie Marner, 10.9. William Nylander, 11.5. And then they've got Tyler Bertuzzi is UFA. Max Domi, UFA. Nick Robertson is going to be an RFA, but is going to ask for money. He's going to want to get paid. Calle Yarncroke is going to get 2.1, and David Kampf is going to get 2.4. That's just Matthew Nyes is he's still on a rookie deal at 9.25 or whatever. They're peanut butter and fuck. Their forward group, Bobby McMahon. You putting out the feelers for Bobby McMahon? He's a UFA anyway next season. Noah Gregor, RFA. They got no one. There's no one to fill the hole. It's bad team building.
Bad team building.
I'm happy that he got his bag. I'm happy he did.
While you're on, are you on that website right now?
I wasn't. I was just looking at a screenshot, but I can pull it up.
I want you to pull up the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
The Winnipeg Jets.
That's how you team build, and that Toronto should take some fucking notes. But shout out Willie Styles. I'm always about getting the bag. I'm a big the bag guy. Get your bag, William Nylander. So fantastic, fantastic agent work there. But I couldn't agree more. The Maple Leafs are fucked. They're paying so much money. One of those guys is going to have to get traded sooner rather than later for defensemen, picks, salary shed, and whatever it may be. And are all 4 of those guys going to play up to that contract?
No, not even close. So Mark Scheifele, this is 2024-2025. So next season, not this year, because to be fair, that's what I did with Toronto.
Yeah.
Scheifele is going to have an $8.5 million hit. Nick Ehlers, 6. Alex Iafallo, which is looking like a steal right now.
Yeah.
4 million. Nino Niederreiter, 4 million.
Who just got extended.
Gabe Vilardi, just under 3.5, 3.4, 3.7. Adam Lowry, 3.25. Mason Appleton, 2.1. Nemeshchikov is getting 2 million.
And that's not even with Hallebuck and Kyle Connor.
No, their defensive side is nice. So they've got 37 million locked up next year in the forward group. And versus Toronto, I think had 58.
And
their
one's at the top of their conference and one is not.
Yeah. The total for goalies is it's Hellebuck. They need to find a backup for next year, but
right.
They could re-sign Boissat. It doesn't matter.
But they just gave Hallebuck the extension, and they just re-signed Scheifele, and they just re-signed Niederreiter. Like those guys are locked up.
$35.5 million for forwards, 28 and change for defense. versus what I told you for Toronto for 57. 57 this year. It's 52 next year. And how many so it's 57 this year for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 forwards. 13 forwards, it's 57 million.
That's so
It's
much.
it gets worse. It's 52 next year, and that's not including one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 guys at 52 million. They have 8 guys signed at 52.
Good luck building a roster.
I just don't see it. I don't understand it. The Leafs Nation just railed on Kyle Dubas when he gave the first deals out, and then this wasn't Dubas. You got to this is a completely different ownership group.
Now you're doing the same shit.
You're doing the exact same.
Walking into the same hole that they inherited. They're fucked, and they should probably take some Dodger notes, start deferring some of the shit.
So
we'll pay you, William Nylander, $8 million in 2035.
We're gonna get into we'll get into deferrals in a little bit.
Oh, we will.
That is that's something else
on the docket.
I want to ask you. So, would you rather question? And the reason I'm asking this is because he's the next guy that's probably up for the big one. Would you rather have William Nylander on your team or Leon Draisaitl, who's due to make a significant increase? If Leon's looking at this 11-5, he's got to be thinking, I'm 12, 13. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm taking Draisaitl all day, even if it's a 13.
Nylander's been consistent.
And that's no slight to Nylander.
He can score. Nylander's fine. It's just I just don't see it. I don't get it.
It's a lot of money for a guy who's, I mean, like you said, he's consistent, he scores, but is he that guy? Is he a top 3-4 forward in the NHL? Because that's what you're paying him like. Is he Nathan McKinnon? Is he Connor McDavid? Is he Leon Draisaitl?
He's none of the above.
He's that next step down, and that's fine. It's a great player.
But it's just so much money.
And you're backing yourself into a corner, and you're going to be fucked they line. But they probably don't give a shit. They're like, we'll be fired if we don't win anyway. So fuck it.
It's big money. It's big money to be giving out to a guy, and quite honestly,
having a hell of a year.
He's earned it. I'm not saying he hasn't earned it. It's just, God, that's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money tied up in what I say, 8 guys. 8 guys. That's just too much. So
57 points through 38 games this season.
Yeah, it's a good year, but it's not that good of a
good year. Time to have it.
Great time
to have it.
Yeah. The joke was stop playing him. It's going up to 11-7-5. So good for him. I want to get to the reverse Lindros.
Yeah,
which has got to be my favorite story that came out. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Cutter Ocho was drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers,
5th overall, top 5.
So, and he's a good young player. Went to the World Juniors, had a good tournament, played well. And then at the World Juniors, the Flyers brass were like, hey, man, we really want to have a chat. And he said, I don't.
Would you?
No.
Not with me. I will have 0 words with you, good sir. Mind your business, keep your peace, and keep it moving.
Philly had to move him because there's no way you can keep this guy. You can't keep a guy that flat out won't talk to Danny Briere or Scott Hartnell or any of your top brass. So they traded him to the Ducks for a reasonable haul.
Drysdale in a second.
Yeah. But now the Ducks look real good on paper. They're young.
They're super young.
So
holy
young.
Shit, if you give them a few years and they all start blending together, Trevor Zegras does a little bit less Michiganing, then they could be scary. I like the Ducks. I really like that core, and Cutter Gauthier is just another piece on top of what already was a good young core. And Drysdale, he had the injury issue this year, and it's kind of shocking they moved off of him, but like
Drysdale,
a little bit. I mean, they already have a bunch of guys on offense prospect right?
Apparently Philly was shopping Gauthier. Like they were like, we can't talk to him, let's move him. And it wasn't a long shop. I think that people thought they probably had more time. They did not. And they just said, oh, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do it.
Fuck it.
So they just tossed him in. They were like, here you go. I find it ironic that it was the Flyers that had this happen to them. Given, and if you don't know the story, Eric Lindros refused to play for the Quebec Nordiques, and they had to trade him to the Flyers.
He said, I will not go there.
Well, I ain't doing it. We've seen this happen a lot of times. Is there a team that you would refuse to play for in the NHL?
In the NHL?
Yeah.
There's definitely teams in sports I would refuse to play for. I don't know if there's an NHL team.
Minnesota. You go to Minnesota?
Oh, that might be it.
You go to like
Winnipeg would be a tough sell.
Winnipeg's cold, but I'll tell you this much: they feel that burn, and the whiteout nights are like,
oh, they're dope. Like the actual hockey atmosphere would be great.
Yeah, but you'd have to live in Winnipeg. I get it.
Correct.
Yeah, it's trash.
Whereas Minnesota is like a lose in both categories.
Yes.
So yeah,
Winnipeg's at least a major city,
right?
It's not like you're. I feel like. Where is Arizona right now? Where's Arizona right now? Like, where's the University of Arizona arena? Where are they playing? It's not. It's not Tempe, is it? Are they in Flagstaff?
I'll check right now.
I'm just saying, it'd be different if it was in Phoenix. Or somewhere fun. That might be the one for me. I don't know. That might be the one for me. No, I changed my mind. I know where it is.
Where is it?
It's St. Louis. No, I changed my mind again. It's Columbus. It's Columbus.
Yeah, you're right. It's Tempe. Oh, fuck. You're right. It is Columbus. It's Columbus 1A and the Wild at 1B.
How do we
shithole in Ohio, dude?
How do we forget to throw strays at Ohio? It's like
obscenely horrendous, inside and out. Ohio. Give me a O-H, an I, and an O.
Oh.
Shithole. Garbage.
University stupid.
If you have a Waffle House every exit on the highway, you're a horrible state.
Oh, man. Yeah. Cutter Gauthier.
What? Win-win trade for both sides, though, in my opinion.
Yes. Yep.
What do you think Drysdale's ceiling is with the Flyers? Because he's still young himself, you know what I mean?
Like it's high. Defense take a long time to develop.
They do.
People get on it. Like Drew Doughty in his prime is not 28 years old. It's 32.
Right. Not everybody walks in like Cale Makar and just starts fucking dominating.
Well, but Cale Makar even like defensively is not like he scores.
Correct.
His forward development is way ahead of everybody else, but he plays on the back end, so people are like, oh yeah, he's a great guy, he's amazing, great forward, and you're like, he's not a forward, he's a defenseman. And the defensive skill takes time. Tight end, center, defenseman, goalie, they all take time to develop. They're not like day one positions. You don't walk into the NHL as an 18-year-old goalie.
No, doesn't happen.
You might. You probably shouldn't. It's probably not worth it. It's gross. Patrick Waugh might have been the last to come close to it. And I don't think he was. Yeah. We had some baseball news.
We do. The Dodgers continue to fuck around with the entire league.
I'm
getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of this deferred money bullshit.
We've been waiting a long time for basically any other team to do anything.
Now we're down to like the C tier of free agents outside of a few names. And the Dodgers have signed everybody so far. That's it. They've all gone to fucking LA.
Teoscar Hernandez, former Blue Jay, former Brewer, former Mariner,
Formerly future Red Sox.
he was supposed to sign with the Red Sox, wasn't
He
he?
was.
He was allegedly a Red Sox target.
Allegedly.
He probably was, but they were like, "We'll pay you $6 and we'll give you unlimited Dunkin'." And he was like, "I'll pass.
I'm good. I'll go somewhere else. In this economy, $6?
The big beef that I have with this is, so you get the unicorn and you defer the money, right? Like, of course you defer the money. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
So you defer it. So you can still play baseball. This is a $23 million deal, which you probably can't afford. It's an overpay, in my opinion. He's a silver slugger, but it's an overpay, isn't it?
Right. Correct.
You know, like 15 to 18 million is probably
More
a
fitting.
Teoscar ceiling. But you give him 23.
And that's where the Red Sox were sitting. They're like 15 tops.
You give him 23 and a half. I think it's and a half. And then you defer $8 million. What are we even doing here?
They're literally just flexing. That's it. There's I refuse to believe they actually needed to do that. Are they going to get more fucking people? Like,
but there's no way to, like, this is the issue. So
like, this is what we're going to do. Stop us, but they're not going to get stopped because you have to go through the fucking CBA, and it's not going to pass because they're still getting paid.
Everybody's getting paid. So the players aren't going to argue this. The players aren't going to argue it because the players union is all for the players' rights, and the players are getting paid more than they ever would have. Teoscar's earning more money than he would have. Period. The owners aren't going to do it. They're not going to argue against it because it's a win for them as well, because they can say, I'm giving you $23 million, but you're not actually. You're giving them 13 million or so.
Right.
15 million, sorry. And then you're getting rid of the rest. You're just saying, I'll pay you the rest later. That's bad for business, and it's bad for the rest of baseball, in my opinion. Why wouldn't I feel like there needs to be a rule on, like, amount of contracts you can defer. Otherwise, why isn't everybody just doing this? Why isn't everybody just being like, all right, so I'll sign you to $10 million today, but it's actually only $500,000, and I'm just deferring the rest over the next 10 years.
Especially if you're like a front office guy that's not, like, you're not going to be there in fucking 10, 15 years, then why it don't matter to you. You're just going to defer all the money.
You just defer everything.
Especially after the Shohei news. You're like, you can just say you're giving them $700 million and spread it out. Like, of course everyone's going to start doing that. And it's like the Yankees are next. I guarantee you next offseason they're going to be like, bang, 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 all of this deferred through fucking 2030 to 2045, and they're going to have the other super team.
This happened in the NHL with Kovalchuk. Do you remember the back-end loaded deals?
Oh, shit,
and
I
the
do.
front-end loaded deals?
Yeah.
Where they would be like...
Where did he sign?
It
was after Atlanta.
With New Jersey.
Yeah.
And they voided the contract because they were like, no, we're done with this.
Loved Kovalchuk.
And they were going, you can have, you can do a little bit, you can sort of move money around, you can take it away, but you can't do what you were doing, because they were just smashing money one way or another. This is going to happen. It's going to stop. Yankees are going to do it. Someone else is going to do it. And then there's going to come a time where someone's going to offer just a stupid deal to someone who doesn't deserve it. Like, they're going to be like, I mean, I can't pull the name out of my head right now because I don't know who's the guy, but like, they're going to give someone
Carlos Correa
$300 million, and they're going to say $290 million of it is deferred. And you're going to be like, well, then it's not $300 million. It's $10 million. Like, what are we talking about here? And they're going to end up having to, it's going to get banned or something will happen to it. I don't know how.
I think what you said is the best solution. Just having a limit.
Just tell me
they
you can
allowed how many deferred contracts,
can
and you figure out something like if you trade for one, then that's fine. That doesn't count against your thing. Like whatever
they
the
do
fuck
this with international pool money, where
Right.
you're only allowed so much.
Right.
They punish teams by taking that away. And if you don't know how that works, we can talk about that another day when we're closer to the season. But you only have so much money to sign international free agents, and you can get more by trading, but that's the only way you get it. It's a crazy situation. Glad Tay Oscar got paid, but like,
get your bag.
Yeah. We had another. Who was the other deal? There was someone got traded. It was Rayleigh got traded from the Rays.
Oh yeah.
To the Mariners, which is hilarious. And Robbie Ray got traded to the Giants for Haniger and DeScalfini, which is funny because the Blue Jays signed Robbie Ray, and then they let him walk, and then they signed Kevin Gausman. So now we really did do a Gausman for Ray deal.
Everything is falling into place.
And everybody's eyeing up Jorge Soler, who's going to make big money, probably deferred for 1 billion years, but that's
the Red Sox are not going to be involved in that.
They are allegedly going to be involved in it. I don't know what to tell you. This is just what they have.
I got a Chris Cotillo bit real quick. He thinks the Red Sox will bat Trevor Story third. Bring back Adam Duvall for the right-hand power bat.
Duval.
Jorge Soler and the Red Sox are apparently not close, and there are more teams involved in negotiations than originally thought. He also thinks Brian Bayo will be the number 1 with a number 2 acquired via trade and an additional veteran starter signed through free agency. What an offseason. Full throttle. I was lied to.
We were all lied to. Everybody thought that there was going to be stuff happening, and the only thing that happened was that the Dodgers signed everybody.
Yeah.
Infinity
and the Red Sox became the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
The Boston Bay Red Rays.
I wanted to touch on some WWE for a second.
Let's do it.
It's not current stuff because truthfully, I'm not as up on it as I want to be. I know. But we're both huge fans of WWE, and I felt like we wouldn't be doing the Ocho true like love and support here if we didn't talk a little bit of wrestling. So I wanted to ask you completely on the spot, because I didn't tell him I was doing this today.
No.
If you could have it's the same question we had from the UFC that we posted on our socials. Any 2 wrestlers in their prime, regardless of era. So we're like, I'm not making you keep it attitude. You don't have to keep it anything. Like, you can, regardless of era. Who is your like Royal Rumble? Like, who's your WrestleMania main event? Who's the dream main event? We saw a bunch of incredible ones.
It's hard to go against Ric Flair. I fucking love Ric Flair. It's really hard to get, but if I do that, I need heel Flair, which kind of limits me on the other side.
Yeah.
Because I like way more heels. That's just how it goes.
I feel like you need someone. I feel like you need a Stone Cold or a Rock in there.
I know, and that's what.
And there's just the problem is that the majority of the wrestlers that everybody adores are heels at this point.
Yeah.
So I feel like you would have to have like Hogan, like prime Hogan, like eat your vitamins, say your prayers, Hulk Hogan against like.
Do I get like his pop from then?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get everything from the prime.
Okay. Yeah, Hogan Flair is hard to beat. I think I would go Stone Cold Flair, and I feel like we could figure out a way to do that. Just like sniveling little bitch Ric Flair. That we could work that in there, but the promo work would be fantastic.
I feel like I would love to see
because I'm not really in this for the match, right? Like the match,
no.
yeah, but like I'm in this for the build up too.
I would like to see Rock Hogan, but I want the Rock's manager to be Macho Man Randy Savage.
That'd be fantastic.
So like all of the lead up would be Macho Man, and then for Hogan, maybe $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, doing all the microphone work. Or we could go
Bobby.
Yeah, American Dream.
No, I meant like the Brain.
Oh, you mean you're going heel? No, I'm thinking. Yeah, I mean we could do Bobby Heenan. Anyway, this is fun. We're absolutely doing there. Rock and Stone Cold are the men. Yes, they are.
Anytime I have two cylindrical like water bottles, anything, I want to just do the Stone Cold fucking.
It's hard not to, right?
It's really hard not to. We have like cups at work that I have to like fill up all the time, and I always just want to fucking smash them together. It's like the intrusive thought.
It's hard not to get into it. We don't have any major UFC news coming out this weekend.
No, we got UFC 297 this weekend. I just got a couple like quips. Izzy avoided a DUI in New Zealand. I don't know whether to applaud him or not. Probably not, but like at least he didn't get convicted. Jim Miller, UFC veteran, says that he wants Brock Lesnar at UFC 300 and that he could Kimura him. Jim Miller is a lightweight.
I don't like Brock Lesnar.
Well, it's all about smoke.
I don't like Brock
Lesnar. I mean, he's a fucking dickhead. The only reason you like Brock Lesnar is because he's a specimen. And he's like entertaining to watch, but he's not. You don't like him.
But even that, I didn't like him as a wrestler either. I didn't like him as a UFC fighter, and not because he's a dickhead. I don't get it. He's just a really big dude.
Yeah,
he's a really big dude. You know who else is really big? Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
The Undertaker was really big.
But Brock doesn't have that personality. He doesn't have all that shit to it. Right.
No.
He just wants to eat meat and hunt.
Personality of protein whey.
Yeah, exactly. He is a big jug of protein.
Yeah.
His mentality is that of like a mountain lion.
Yes.
It's a mountain lion in human form. Yeah. It wants to eat and survive. And that's it. And hunt and murder and bloodlusts. That's Brock Lesnar.
Since I don't have any
I always used to see these memes like people talking about Brock Lesnar and they just call him Bork Laser. And that's every time I've ever heard him since then, I just think of Bork Laser.
Yeah. Since I don't have any highlight news, I think it's time we move on to the NHL Power Rankings. Do you know highlight?
I do. My Spanish teacher made us watch it, and
it's
high school, middle school.
Yeah, but
highlight was dope. It's like you remember, like I remember at least in gym class, like
you had
young, and you had the little fucking paddles, and you're like, what the fuck is this for?
Yeah, I don't know. They were trying to make it break in. Apparently, it was big in the U.S. in the 80s in Miami.
Down in Miami. Yeah. That was. I mean, we've probably watched the exact same fucking videos.
100% we have.
My Spanish teacher made it. Oh yeah, you're right. It is. I forgot all about that.
There is still highlight going on there, and you should absolutely watch it. Shout out to John Ball, big highlight fan.
Is he?
I think he is.
Of course he is. That makes all the sense in the world. The Archer episode where he's playing highlight and he's talking like trying to get info from a homie while he's playing highlight, and then he's like, I can serve this thing like 100 miles an hour, and you just coming in here with no helmet. And he's like, I'm not scared. Like it's just a pussy little game. Like I don't care about your shit. And then he just takes one off the fucking dome and starts bleeding out.
Phrasing.
I fucking love Archie.
We got NHL Power Rankings. We're doing them a little different this week. We're just going to blast through the bottom half here because they don't count.
No, nothing's really changed. They're pretty unchanged from last week as well. Sharks at 32. I did draw another Sharks logo if you want to see it.
Let's see it. You got to see it.
It was a little hasty, but see if we can get it in there. Celebrini Woo. We're gonna auction that off. I'm sure somebody's
that's an
gonna
NFT.
love that.
That's an NFT for sure.
It will bring a room together, living room, bedroom, anything. Hang that above your fucking
your
armoire.
Yeah, it's a talking piece for sure.
Absolutely. Number 31, the fighting Connor Bedard's.
Out 6 to 8 weeks.
Sure is. Broken jaw. Probably going to stay at 31. They're also in the Celebrini. Like, you know how Big Cat does the power, his tiers? The Celebrini Woo tier is the Sharks and the fucking Blackhawks this week. Number 30, the Anaheim Ducks. They're fun. They're frisky. They're going to be great soon.
Really good soon.
The Columbus Blue Jackets at 29. And I meant to ask you this, though. I'll bring it up with Columbus. Should every NHL team get an all-star? Because I'll say I don't like it.
I'll tell you what I think should happen. I think every NHL team should have a representative at the skills competition.
Yes, I like that.
I think that, and they should get the all-star check bump.
Yep.
But I think you should limit who actually gets to play in the weird tournament bullshit they do.
Agreed. Because no offense to Boone Jenner, he's in the 90s in the league in points, 92, 94.
Montreal's got Nick Suzuki, I think, is their all-star, and you can see why. It makes sense. They're not going to send anybody else.
Right, and that's how you feel with the Jackets too, but it's really?
Yeah, but Jenner's awful.
Is that guy exactly? Is that guy really the best that we have to offer in the league? No, it's not.
Yeah, I think that there should be a representative. Probably
shout out Steven Tao. It's like when you get Snoop Huntley and fucking Mac Jones in the Pro Bowl. Yeah. Number 28, the Ottawa Senators. Trash.
Absolute trash.
27, the Buffalo Sabres. Hype train derailed. Remember when all those trains derailed in 3 weeks? You remember that?
Yes.
That was wild. I thought more was coming from that. I thought it was a sign of the end times. But then you didn't hear anything else about it. Sabres, 27, as I said. 26, your Montreal Canadiens.
They didn't mean to.
Number 25, the Calgary Flames. Sell mode. They got to sell everything. And our first mover of the night, Minnesota Wild down 1 at 24. They're bad. Everyone's hurt. That's a dumpster fire. They were fun for a second. They got super hot for a couple weeks after they fired their coach. And now everyone's hurt and it's in shambles and ceiling is crashing down. The St. Louis Blues, Armchair's one of his least preferred destinations.
Yeah, there was 8 on there. I dropped the ball on that. I apologize.
You hated all of them.
I forget Ohio.
Half the conference, you were like, fuck.
Yeah.
I won't go. I won't play there. Number 22, the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah.
They're on a 7-game win streak. Killing it.
I'd play in Seattle.
I'd play in Seattle too. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, me too.
Unless Russell Wilson's there, then I'm out. I want no part of that.
No one's there anymore. Everybody's gone.
Number 21, the Detroit Red Wings. Bad. Nothing's changed. Goaltending's bad. Defense is bad. But hey, you got Patrick Kane.
Where else did he want to sign?
They got Detroit got a road that charges itself. It charges electric cars.
Well, that's fun.
It's the first road in the world that can do that. And they're like, you know where we should put that? Detroit, Michigan. It's like giving a homeless guy a Gucci belt.
What do we can it get rained on? What?
I think that's all underneath.
What happens if it rains though?
But I saw somebody that was like, yeah, that's it's a lawsuit waiting to happen when 20 years from now everybody's got cancer. It's weird. I
Just
just lived
glows.
on this street that was pumping out electrical charge all
Just-
day, every day.
It just glows. That's got to be a hell of a power bill. It's a hell of a power bill.
I want to look more into it, but I've just been willy-nilly throwing the headline around so I could tell my homeless guy Gucci belt joke.
We got to do what we got to do.
Got to do what you got to do, man. Number 20, the Washington Capitals. What does this team do good?
They don't.
Exactly.
They don't
Why do
good
people
that.
keep telling me that they're going to turn it around and make the playoffs?
Because they have every single year.
But they're not going to
For like a decade. They might not. There's a real good chance they won't.
I think their division's too good. I think they don't have it. Ovechkin's not himself, and that's what you've had carrying you all this fucking time. On top of the depth you had, which isn't there. Tom Wilson's like your fourth best forward. That's not going to get it done.
So right now, the Caps are 6th in the division.
That division's super tight.
The problem is you win a game and you're 3rd.
Exactly. And I understand that. And I guess that is, you answer my question. That is why people keep telling me they're going to turn it around. But I don't see it. This team is not good. I don't think they're better than Carolina. I don't think they're better than the Devils. I don't think they're better than Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is always just a minute from going off the rails, though, aren't they?
They are, but I feel like there's no way that the Capitals get back on the rails. There's nothing there that is telling me otherwise.
Caps are Islanders right now.
I hate the Islanders, so that's tough for me. If they played tonight, I think the Islanders would be favored.
I think the Hurricanes are better. I think the Flyers are objectively better. The Devils are absolutely better. The Capitals
I think the Penguins are better than them.
The Penguins are better. The Capitals have played 38 games and are 2 points out of 3rd place. The other teams that are ahead of them they have 2 games in hand on top of it as well. And all it takes is 1 week of OV figuring things out, and all of a sudden it's different. They still have guys that can play.
I hear that.
I don't trust the Islanders. I don't trust the Islanders, that's all.
I don't either, and I really don't trust the Islanders, and they're part of the stat that I'm going to say. The Capitals have a minus 23 goal differential. That is 2nd worst in the Eastern Conference and 5th worst in the entire NHL.
It's not good. There's nothing good about it.
And that's just one match. There's so many power plays horrible, penalty kills horrible, 5-on-5 is bad. You're not getting enough goals. Your defense has been bad.
They're going to sneak in a wild card spot.
I don't believe it.
Well, the team you got right above them right now is in free fall.
The Devils?
No, right above them, right above the Caps.
Oh, I thought you meant in the standings. The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are in a free fall. They have Nikita Kucherov, Brayden Point, Steven Stamkos, and it's them versus the world right now. Other than that team's dog shit. Remember how good everyone thought the Atlantic was going to be this year?
Yeah.
Everyone thought the Lightning would be better, the Red Wings would be better, the Sabres would be better, the Senators would be better. Nobody. They're all those teams are bad. The Bruins were at the top, and I thought we would be horrible.
Yeah. How is Montreal so close to a wild card spot? This
It's
makes no sense.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's kind of terrifying to be
It's
honest
because
with
the Metro is just cannibalizing each other. And that's another point to the Capitals. Like, I'll give you the Islanders. They're better than the Islanders. But that makes you the 6th best team in your division? I don't know. I just don't believe in them.
This is why I think they'll make a wild card, and this is why. Tampa Bay has 45 points right now. 45. They've played 42 games. The Caps have 4 games. Yeah. 4 games in hand over the guys that have 1 point more.
You're right.
They'll end up in a wild card spot, whether we like it or not. They're just going to end up there. Devils will take the Islanders out of the other one. It'll be the Devils and the
aren't
Capitals.
looking great right now either. They just have some injuries, but we'll get to them.
Devils and Capitals will be the wild card teams. Pittsburgh might move up.
I think it will be.
It's probably actually Pittsburgh and New Jersey. Well, It's going to
That
be
was
Pittsburgh
my
and
pick.
Washington. It's Pittsburgh and Washington because New Jersey is killed. You're right.
I think
More
it will
guys on
be
IR than anything else.
Bruins, Panthers, Leafs, Rangers, Hurricanes, Flyers, and then you'll get the Devils
And Penguins?
the Penguins. And if I'll take the Flyers out for the Red Wings, but I don't like either of them.
See, I think the Flyers could fall off. I think that this is the problem. That division's so tight. We'll see what happens. We'll play it out.
Yeah, it could literally a week from now could be entirely different. So
yes, yeah,
that's how tight it is. Number 18, I have the New York Islanders.
No, 18. You got Coyotes.
I swapped them.
Oh, that's right. You did. It's my.
I had them originally, and I flipped them because
you're right. You're right.
I hate the Islanders. I had them at 16. It didn't feel right. I got like 10 more teams done, and I was like,
happens.
Something ain't right up there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, so the Islanders, we just talked about them a little bit too. I don't believe in them for a second. They have a ton of points from overtime losses. They're still in a wild card spot right now, which is crazy. They have 48.5% expected goal share at 5-on-5, which isn't going to win you fucking dick. So I'm out on the Islanders. Number 17, I've got the Nashville Predators. They had a Smashville, baby. 6-game winning streak last month, and then I watched a game, and they had those fucking piss yellow, ugly jerseys on. And ever since then, they've just been on a down spiral. Saros has been horrific lately. He's 61st in goals above average.
Juicy.
Yeah, tough stuff. They do have Yaroslav Askarov, who was a first-round pick a couple of years ago. He just debuted, and he looked great in his first win. So we'll see what happens with that. But Preds, 17. Now we got the Coyotes.
The Yotes.
The University of Phoenix online Coyotes. Connor Ingram's been fantastic. Clayton Keller's been fantastic. Lawson Krause has been fantastic. And this is a team that I think will make a wild card spot. Or they'll at least be there at the end. They'll get bounced by like a game or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I like the Coyotes, and they're way better than I expected them to be this year. And they just fucking beat us in OT. And they had a 4-goal comeback against Colorado the other night. You see that?
I did.
That was fucking wild. So shout out Coyotes. We just had that whole trifecta of Coyotes, Avalanche, Bruins.
Yeah.
Coyotes, Bruins, and the Coyotes came out on top of all three of us. So
it's ridiculous.
15, your Philadelphia Flyers. High hopes for them. I know you have. Yeah, we had the Drysdale trade this week. Tort's comments on that was super funny. I couldn't tell Gauthier from a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's true. He's probably never even fucking talked to the guy.
No, he would. Why would he?
Yeah.
He's the coach of the current club. He's not played any minutes. Of course, he didn't talk to him. And
the guy doesn't want to be on the team anyway.
So why would you do it? Yeah.
There's no reason he would protect that guy in any way. He'd be like, I don't fucking know the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flyers at 15, down 3 this week. I still think they're a playoff team. That's the wild card team to me, that like they're just gonna somehow end up in there with really no rhyme or reason. And Carter Hart could get hot, and then all of a sudden, what?
Got a hat.
Got a fucking hat. The Pittsburgh Penguins at 14, they're up 1. We've been talking about how they're very top heavy, where they need those top forwards to perform on a weekly basis. They have been, and they're kind of figuring out a way to use those smaller guys because to not fit, that breakout offense that Pittsburgh has, they're like really starting to grind games out and get physical, and they're starting to find success. I think that's the team that turns it around more than the Capitals.
Yeah.
13, the Devils. Jack Hughes, Dunzo, out for a few weeks. That's tough. They pretty much go as he goes. He's got 1.5 points per game right now, which is ridiculous. And his brother's not half bad either. But with Timo out and Jack Hughes out and the goaltending issues that they already have, I'm slightly worried for the Devils over the next couple weeks here.
That's a lot.
Number 12, Toronto Maple Leafs. They've waived Samsonov, we talked about last week. They've been running with Martin Jones. He's been decent. They just signed Nylander.
Guess who's at practice today with the Leafs?
Who's that?
Ilya Samsonov. They recalled him. No one claimed him. Yeah, no one claimed him, and they recalled him.
That's got to be the most awkward moment in sports. Where they're like, we don't really want you, and then you just end up back there, and they're like,
Martin Jones played well. He's got like a sub 2 goals against and a decent save percentage, but the problem is,
and they did that with him at the start of the year. They fucking cut him at the beginning of the year too.
You can't play that way forever. You can't. He's not built to play 50, 60 games in a season. He's just not built for it. He's played like 7, and he's like, I'm great until you get lit up by someone. Like they play the Islanders tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. But you can't keep relying on that guy.
No, I don't believe in Toronto for a second. That's a first round bounce. Number 11, the Los Angeles Kings. They're down a lot this week, and it's really not their fault. They were so hot and just absolutely killing shit for so long that they're bound to fall off a little bit. And it's not like their defense has still been good. The goaltending's been fantastic. They've only allowed 94 goals this year. Them and the Jets have the least amount of goals allowed on the season. It's by a significant amount. The next closest is Florida, I think, and they're like 102, 101, something like that.
Notice we haven't heard any of those teams' names yet. I wonder why.
Oh yeah, like there's a formula to this. The Kings, again, I really like them. I think they're going to be fantastic. They've been so good, and that's really been without Byfield and Dubois, who are expected to be their 2 biggest contributors, and they've really not been that this season. Byfield hasn't scored since December 23rd. Dubois hasn't scored since December 27th, and Dubois had another scoreless streak before that one. Yeah. So if those guys can start stepping up, the Kings can be absolutely dangerous. And then Cam Talbot, I forget their young goalie's name, Phoenix something, I think.
Yeah, I forget too.
He's good too, but he's hurt. The Oilers, number 10, Connor McDavid has registered a point in all but 3 games since Chris Knobloch took over after they fired
Phoenix Copley.
Thank you. Yeah, he's good.
Since then they hired Connor's junior coach.
Yeah, exactly. And they fired Woodcroft. Oilers are good, man. They're right back. Remember they were like 26, 27.
They climbed like 6 spots in the division.
Yeah, they're fucking killing it. Now they're going to be right back into cup contention, and all these talks. I still don't believe in them because of their defense, and I think Stuart Skinner's going to fucking fold. I think that's what he does, but we'll see. When you have the 2 best players on the planet, like
that's pretty hard to argue with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like that should work.
Mm-hmm.
That worked in baseball, right?
Yeah, all the time. Works so well.
Number 9, the Vegas Golden Knights. They have not been great lately. They went 6-7 last month, -5 goal differential. Aiden Hill's out. Pretty bad 5-on-5 the last couple weeks.
This leading up to this All-Star break is the dog days of hockey, where everything just kind of blends. Good teams go on losing streaks, but everybody kind of rights the ship as they go into that break. We'll see what happens.
I believe in Vegas. I think they're really good. I think they're going to be a contender when it comes down to it. But I don't know. They've just been struggling lately. They've been taking a hit every week in the power rankings, it seems.
Yep.
Next, we've got 8 Carolina Hurricanes. They had a lackluster start, unlike the Kings, and are starting to get hot, doing a little reverse.
Scoring a bit more now.
They are scoring a bit more. Svechnikov's getting going. He had 1 goal in his first 16 games, and in his last 9, he scored 8.
Yeah.
So he's getting going. Aho has been on a tear. We talked about him a lot last week. And their biggest issue is injuries and goaltending. People are getting healthy, and Peter Kochetkov went 5-1-1 to close out the year.
That'll help you.
It will. So maybe we got a solution there. 7 Dallas Stars. They have struggled a bit without the Otter, but they're still one of the best teams in the league. You can tell they're still playing 100%. Fantastic. That game against the Avalanche, which was my game of the week last week, chef's kiss, phenomenal game. Went to OT. Nathan McKinnon with the breakaway winner. Hey, Devin Tays, really good at defense.
Yeah. Hey, don't let Nathan McKinnon on a breakaway if you don't want to lose the game.
Yeah, don't do that. Robertson
should cover that guy.
Fuck out of that, dude. He just gave that puck away to Tays, and it went right to McKinnon, and nobody was back there.
You can't, if you give him the puck to get. They all knew. They were all skating.
Everybody knew.
Like, goalie is like, you might as well.
Yeah. I thought the same shit as soon as I saw McKinnon center ice. It's like, oh, nobody's there. That's it. Game over. He walked down and fucking ice in his veins. But yeah, the Stars 3-3-1 in their last 7, but they have a 65.4 expected goal share at 5-on-5 over that stretch. So even when they're bad, they're still playing winning hockey, and that's without their starting goalie. I really like Dallas. As I said, they're my cut pick. Number 6, my Boston Bruins. We've had a tough week. Back-to-back OT losses. We had that loss to Pittsburgh right before our last show. So 3 of our last 4, not great. We do have some of the best depth in the league. Great goalie tandem despite the lackluster performances from Swayman lately. And I said this last week, and I'm going to double down on it. We needed to get rid of some of that depth and bring in some more talent on the top end.
You do. You do.
Because we got to keep our head above water through some of these struggles. It's not going well. Number 5, the Colorado Avalanche. I just talked about that game with the Stars that was awesome. They beat us in OT. They just had that. They blew that game to the Coyotes, which stung. But Nathan McKinnon, 12 goals and 18 assists in his last 15 games. You can't do the math. That's a 2-point per game clip. He's so good.
He's stupid good, man.
Only trailing Kucherov in points. Rantanen and Makar have been fantastic as well. They just got Arturi Lehkonen back, who's been out since the start of November. Mm-hmm. That'll help. And the goalies have been pretty decent.
They have been.
Surprisingly. I hate that goalie tandem. Like, that team's so good and the goalies just aren't, but they're playing good right now. So ride the hot hand. And the Rangers at number 4, their first time off the podium in 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Still a top tier team. They haven't had Cheidel or the Finnish fuck slab himself, Capo Caco, available. So once they get him going, they'll be all right. Gun to your head, you got to start Shesterkin or Jonathan Quick for game 7 of a playoff series right now.
Jonathan Quick.
Same. He's playing way better. He's got the pedigree.
It's not all that complicated. He's been there before.
Agreed.
He knows what to do.
Vancouver, number 3. You know I love this Canucks team, and that's saying something for a guy who fucking hates the Canucks.
Yeah.
Although they burned their city down because of us, so that's a win. Like you just own that city.
Except for 2 people. 2 people had sex in the middle of the riot. It was kind of amazing.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
They were just like, nah, never mind.
Yeah, I hope they're still together.
And me too. Yeah, look, we believe in love.
I feel like they gotta be, right?
We believe in love here.
The world has been burning around them a million times, and they just
lay down. They were like, all right, here's good enough.
Yeah, this will work. This will do, actually. Is that a candle over there? Oh no, it's a flare. It's a flare.
That's a flare. Yeah, that's a flare.
Florida Panthers. Sorry, I didn't really get much on the Canucks. Skipping it there. They had a really good season so far. As I've said, they've been overperforming. Thatcher Demko's Vezina candidate. JT Miller's playing fantastic. Quinn Hughes is a Norris candidate, maybe the favorite for it right now. So they're killing it. And if you get the Russian Bear going, who knows?
Who knows?
But if I've said this before, if Demko can play like he has been, this team is unstoppable.
Yep.
Panthers at 2, after my little spoiler alert there. They've been so fucking hot. 8 games in a row. Sam Reinhart is on a fucking scorcher. Kachuk's getting going. Barkov is the Selke favorite. You're welcome that Patrice Bergeron's not there anymore. Also, can we rename the award, please?
We probably will.
Sam Bennett's been killing it too. Panthers are just on fire.
Yeah.
They're clicking. And when they're playing like this, I think they're
Pretty
the best team in the East.
Yeah.
And that's why they're number 2 this week. And number 1, incredibly crafted, the Winnipeg Jets. They're up 6 this week. And remember when Kyle Connor got hurt? And I was like, they're fucked. They're going to fall off. I was wrong. I was so wrong.
We were all wrong.
Yeah. Swing and a miss on that because they've been on fire. Most encouraging part is that they've been doing it. Hal Buck's been fantastic.
Yeah, but it's not
just
one guy.
been him.
Yeah,
Correct. It's not a one-man show. Winnipeg has been killing people 5-on-5. 52% of expected goals and 64% of the actual goals at 5-on-5, which that's a fantastic metric if you're looking look at the 5-on-5 stats. If a team has expected goals above 50%, they're probably pretty decent.
Yeah.
And then when you're putting in 65% of them, then not much you can do. Salaries are under control, like we talked about earlier. Halbuck's locked up, Scheifele's locked up, Kyle Connor's locked up at a favorable salary for a guy that's putting in 50 goals a year.
Yeah. They're a good team.
Winnipeg's a fucking wagon.
They're a
We're
wagon.
gonna see some whiteouts in the playoffs.
We're absolutely going to see some whiteouts in the playoffs. Game of the week before we get to do you got a Stone Stories today?
Of course I do.
Of course you do. Kings and Panthers on Thursday night is my game of the week. Florida is one of the best teams, as just noted, in the East. They're coming east to LA is coming east to play them. One of the best teams from the West. That's my game of the week pick.
I like that one. I'm looking at Bruins Knights on Thursday night. Looking at that one. I also really like Leafs Avalanche on Saturday.
Yes,
that should be pretty good
for one team.
Yeah, for one team. I really just want to watch the Avalanche put a beating on them.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah,
but Bruins Knights will actually be like a really good game.
Yes, it will.
I think that'll be my game of the week. Bruins Knights.
It's time for Stone Stories.
Let's go. All right, what do we got this week? We got we got a Dunkin' Donuts story, but it did not take place in my beautiful home state of Massachusetts. We were going down to Florida, the wild, wild South. I don't know if I've told you this before, but we had we used to joke about this on Stone Sports all the time. I want to just like cut Florida off from the rest of the world, the rest of the country, like just a comically large like hacksaw.
Oh, you can't.
And just send them out to sea and just put cameras everywhere. We'll put it on like channel 4, channel 5, and it will just run 24/7. And they'll have a team of editors and they'll just flip to the most exciting shit all the time. And that it will be like Hunger Games, Death Race, all of your favorite action movies jam-packed into one. And we're going to save fucking cable. But
this
anyway,
is not Stone Stories.
No, it's not. But we were going to Florida. The customers filed a negligence lawsuit against Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on, claiming he was injured by an exploding toilet at one of the coffee chain's locations in Central Florida. Paul, we're going to call him Paul K because he's got just a tricky last name. He's seeking more than $100,000 in a lawsuit filed on Wednesday at a state court in Orlando, claiming he suffered severe and long-term injuries following the explosion of a toilet in the men's room of a Dunkin' location in beautiful Winter Park, Florida. After this explosion left Mr. K covered in human feces, urine, and debris. I'm guessing like debris was like from the toilet, not like.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because human debris is like, I feel like you would also get covered in that from a toilet, but maybe not in a Dunkin'. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, where are we here? An employee told him they were aware of the problem with the toilet since there had been previous incidents, the lawsuit says, without diving into further details about the explosion. There's no sign. I feel like that's like open shut case. This guy's got his money, right? If they knew about it and they had issues in the past and they left the toilet available for somebody to use, that's on them.
That's bad. Yeah.
When contacted Thursday by email for more details on Mr. K's injuries, his attorney, Scott Spradley, which is a fantastic name, said he was tied up and couldn't answer the questions until the following day, which is like classic attorney answer. Like, sorry, man, I got hands are tied, super busy lawyering. Yeah. The Canton, Massachusetts-based company did not immediately respond to an email seeking comment. The lawsuit says Kroc suffered bodily injury and has required mental health care and counseling since the incident and has left him physically and emotionally scarred. The mental anguish is unbearable, and he's had a loss of the capacity for the enjoyment of life. I couldn't imagine coming out of a public restroom absolutely covered head to toe in piss and shit from people using said bathroom over the course of however long since it's been cleaned, probably a bit. There's not much. I would probably have mental anguish and would need a counselor as well, because how do you like walk up to another human and be like, I'm going to need some help here. Somebody clean me up, because this is your fault.
Please help.
Yeah.
Send help.
If a toilet, like I started my day flat out on my back in slush, cold wetness, and it's nothing compared to what my day could have been like if I was Mr. Paul K in Winter Park, Florida. Holy shit. You go to get your coffee and you get covered in months of coffee and donuts.
I don't know if you've ever been to a Dunkin', and I know you have, but yeah.
Is that a Dunkin' today?
This is toilets are needed, is what I'm saying.
They are needed.
We've reached that time. It's the last call. I wanted to give a shout out here. Last call shout out to the USA for winning gold at the World Junior Championships.
Woo! That's my America. The red, white, and the cotton ham blue.
They beat the Swedes, and then they celebrated like kids. And
the Ohio of Europe.
Don't know that.
No, I don't.
We don't know that. We're just saying, listen, you whined a little bit, like a little bit of a little bitch, but yeah, they sang and danced.
Gotta come pay the piper. Top dog, bully on the block.
People were indignant about them singing and dancing as if they aren't 17-year-olds who just won a gold medal. Maybe chill out a little bit and remember that they're kids playing a kids game and they won medals. It's a pretty big deal. That's my last call. Also, next week, I want to let you know that we're going to start talking a little bit about Royal Rumble. Rumble's coming up soon. I want to talk about memorable Rumble moments.
I'm going to think of other things that should be settled with a Royal Rumble.
Yes, absolutely. What are some things that we can settle with a Royal Rumble? We'll let you know.
The lottery.
The lottery. Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
And every ticket you buy, you get one more life. You get one more elimination. Yeah. They're like, his feet touch the ground. Give me a ticket. And the guy hands you off a ticket. He burns it, and you're back in that bitch.
You don't give it away now. We gotta save it for next week. So we will be posting the
that's just off the rip
power rankings.
Until I have 7 days to write these down.
Posting our power rankings on the social, so you can agree, disagree, love, hate it, talk shit or not. But let us know what you think. For Dubs, I am Armchair. We will see you next week. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Peace.